Just let me know.
Yeah, they are
Are they
visible.
visible? Yes, yes. Fine, fine, fine. Now it's okay.
Great.
Okay, okay. Okay, so where I was there. Yeah, I was just telling about it. If you want to track your project, if you want to keep the track of the projects, then how will you do it? Here Git comes into play. Git helps us to keep the tracks of the project, to helps us add new features to our project, to help us connect with all the people, to help us contribute with the different people, for the different people, and for the world. Here the Git comes into play. Now, what Git actually is, what is the technical term of the Git? So Git is a version control system. Wait, I'll be telling you what version control system is in the upcoming slides. So till now, just keep it in mind that what is Git. So if somebody asks, just tell Git is a distributed version control system. A distributed version control system. Git. It was created by Linus Torvalds in 2005. Let me show you who Linus Torvald is. Yeah, here is the legend. He was the one who he was the principal developer of the Linux kernel. You know, if you know about Linux, the if you have worked on Mac OS, so the key feature behind that is Linux. It works on that, and you know how fast it is. So he was the one who created Linux, and then in 2005 he created Git. In 2008, GitHub was created. So he was the principal developer behind all these things, the legend. So today Git is one of the most popular version system out there. So now I told you as that Git is a version control system. So what version control system is? As I told you, with time we see different versions updating. Like a month ago our phone was on Android 8 and now it is on Android 9. We are getting versions. So just how to control those versions. What if you just downloaded a new version in your phone and your phone did not supported it and your phone got crashed? What to do next? You will go and buy a new phone? No, you will just shift into your older version because your phone did not supported a newer one. So somewhere in the world that older version also exists, you know. So how to keep control on that? Where to how to revert back to your older version? How to so to control all these things? This is the version control system. That means we have the copy of every change we made in our project. For example, we make a project, we worked on feature 1, then we worked on feature 2, and then we worked on feature 3. We have all the copies of those features. This is what version control system is, to keeping track of every features, every changes that we are making. So this is version control system. A version control system allows users to keep track of the changes in software development projects and enable them to collaborate on those projects. And what more? We can also, it's not just that I am working on the one feature, I am working on the second feature. No, anyone in the world whom you allow to will work on that and you can keep track of those features. This is what version control system is. You can see from the picture itself. Now, see, version control system is of two types: distributed version control system and centralized version control system. Let me tell you that Git is a distributed one, not centralized one. Let me show you. See, this is the picture of a centralized version control system. What centralized means? That means it it is just limited to your office, to your workplace, or to it is just limited to a small place. That is centralized version system. That means, for example, if you are in your school, you have the main server, and then you have teacher 1, teacher 2, teacher 3, teacher 4. Teacher 1 is working on computer subject, teacher 2 is working on science, teacher 3 is working on maths, and teacher 4 is working on social science. What they all are doing, they are just making their syllabus papers and then they are giving it to the main server. So what centralized version system do? It just it it just shrinked into that small place, no? No one else outside their school will be able to contribute to the subject syllabus. This is centralized version system. And what is distributed version system? That means we have a remote repository hosting service. That means we have a GitHub that is open to all of you of in the world. Anybody in the world can get a copy of a project in his or own local computer, can do the changes in that project, and then push it back to the remote repository. Wait, these terms are not that difficult. These are just the terms that we use. It just means that distributed version control system is you have a server on which is present, which is present for everyone. Anybody who you allow to can get access to the project, can work on that and push it back into the GitHub repository. That means anybody in the world can see it. Anybody in the world can contribute it if they wish to. This is distributed version control system. That means it is distributed to everybody. So Git is a distributed version system. Advantages of Git, let me tell you, Git is very fast as we work on command line. It is a command line tool, hence the speed is really fast. It's simple. You just have to learn the commands and Git will do the work for you. Fully distributed. Yeah, as I've already told, it is fully distributed. Excellent support for parallel development. What does this mean? Parallel development. Okay. Parallel development means that, for example, you and your friend decided to work on an Android app, and what you decided that your friend will work on its UI UX application, and you will be just developing its content. So, it would not be there, na? Ki you are the parallel development means both of you can develop the things at the same time. That is parallel development. At the same time, you both can work on that feature and then contribute to your project. It is not that when your one friend finishes, then you start. No. You can take a copy of that project on your system, you work on your system, and then contribute it to the remote repository. So this was excellent. So Git provides you an excellent support for it. It's free and open source. It's security wise also Git is very good. No need of powerful hardware. You don't right now, like we have given you the prerequisites. It was never like you need a very powerful hardware like database management system or the SQL one that you Git does not need that. It's just a simple software on which we can work. It's easier branching. Okay, so branching. Okay, this is a term that we use. I'll tell you later about this. Just let us go ahead. Okay, so we got to know what Git is. Now let me tell you what GitHub is. Just a minute. GitHub is a Git repository hosting service. Git repository hosting service, as I told you, this was my remote repository. Remote repository means it is accessible to everyone present in the world. So there should be some system, no, where we can contribute. It is not like, for example, like in central version control system, what we have a centralized server, but over here the server is what? It is available to all, the web-based graphical UI we say. So this is what GitHub do. It is that service which lets us host our own repository. So this is what GitHub do. Okay. So why GitHub? Why GitHub is important? So okay, so GitHub is important because 40 million users are there on GitHub, 100 million plus repositories, and even contributing to more. And you know why GitHub? Because we have Bitbucket as well. We have Bitbucket. We have other repository hosting services, but GitHub is getting popular day by day. So that's why we prefer GitHub. There is no hard and fast rule. You can choose for, as per your wish. So hmm. Okay, so a lot of people get confused between what Git is and what GitHub is. So now let me tell you that the Git is a command line tool on which we work. But what GitHub is? GitHub is a web-based service which lets us. I hope it must be clear with the earlier examples which I have given. What Git is the service. Git is the command line tool. It is just a tool on which you work. And what GitHub is? It is a service which hosts the repositories. So this is the difference between the Git and GitHub. Okay. Uh, yeah, one more thing. Whereas GitHub is a cloud-based hosting service. Yes, it is cloud-based. Let me- okay. So as you have seen over here, I have used the term branching. So now we'll move to the different terminologies which we'll use during our journey. So what are the terminologies in GitHub? Okay, let's move ahead. Okay. Like I have used this term various times. Repository. What repository actually is? See, you would have I see everybody would have made any folder in your computer. You must be having your folder on which you are keeping tracks of your online lectures, or if you are keeping tracks of your papers or any documents. So that folder, in very simple terms, repository is a kind of folder on which you keep your project. So what Git repository? It is a folder inside your system where all your project files are located, and this is where your all the project exists. This is what repository is: a directory or storage space where your projects can live forever. It is not that what happens in the computer system. You make your project, you delete it, and then it is lost forever. But you make a repository and you contribute it to your GitHub account, and it lives forever. So this is what GitHub is. So this is a repository one. So repositories, let me tell you, when you will just go to your account, when you will create a repository, it will be showing a page something like this, which will like this is a, for example, my name is HughBot and I'm the owner of this. I'm creating a repository Hello World. So yeah, you can see I've created a repository Hello World, and then there are two options. I can create a public repository or a private repository. Okay, so what is public and private repository? So public में क्या होता है? Public is it is visible to any user. It has unlimited repos, unlimited collaborator. Public means that everybody in the world can contribute it. But what private is? Private has only 3 collaborators with it. Private is limited to that means only 3 people can contribute to your project. But in public, unlimited people can contribute. This is the difference between public and private. Before GitHub is having private allowed us to use private repositories, but it charges us. But right now it is open to all. It is free, absolutely free. You can create a private repository as well, but it is limited to only 3 collaborators. So this was the difference between public and private. Okay. So how to make just like you go to your system, just right click it, you go on new and then new folder, and your new folder is created. Just the same thing, in the same way your GitHub repository is also created. Go to your terminal, just write these commands. GitHub is what? You just have to learn the commands and it will do the work for you. So how to make a folder, how to make a repository in your local system? Just write 3 commands. Simran ma'am will be telling you these commands in the tomorrow's session. I'm just giving you the introduction. So just let me tell you first, just don't go very deep into it. Just like you just type mkdir, that means make your directory, make mkdir my project, cd my project, cd means change directory, and git init. Git init is the command that is used to initialize a Git repository. Just I repeat myself, git init is a command that is used to initialize a Git repository. So this was just a command. You will get to know. Just don't panic. You will get to know all about it. Okay, so this here comes the branch. So just look at this diagram which is visible over here. Look at this diagram. You can see over here version 1, version 2, version 1, version 1.0. Okay. So this blue dot is your, like, for example, you just created a repository, okay, on your GitHub account. You just created a repository. So your this blue dot is the repository you just created. So this repository will be known as the master branch. Okay. Okay, then now what happened that you decided to work on a project. For example, you decided to work on an Android app project. You made your folder on the master branch. Master branch is nothing but the original master. Like you created this file, this repository, and this is your master branch. And then what happened that then one of your friend just liked the idea of creating it, and he just came to you and just said ki, hey, I would like to contribute to your project. So what he did, he just make another branch and make his own folder on it, just took a copy of your project and started working on it. Okay. And then another of your friend also said ki, I would also like to work on it, and then he also just created another repository and he started working on it. And when all of them just worked, so what is this, what are they creating? They are creating the branches. Like they are working on this feature 1, he's working on feature 2. These are the branches they are creating. Branches, when you are working on a Git branch, that means there will be no effect on the master branch until and unless when you have completed your work, you will just push it into the master branch. So prior to it, branches are just just the trunks which helps you to work on new features. And see, now both of your friends just worked on feature 1, feature 2, and then when you are satisfied and you found ki, yeah, they just made a very nice project, and then you pushed those changes onto your master branch. So see, you can see they just pushed these changes into the master branch, and yeah, hippie, this version 2 is created. So what happens? Version 1 to version 2, your 2, 3, or many other friends would have contributed to it. So this is what branching is. This is what you did, and you created a new version of it. See, there is there will be no difference in the master branch. What happened? Master branch will now have the two added features. So this was the branch one. Now let me tell you now let me tell you about the working of the Git. See, working of the Git is, see, working directory. Working directory is your local system on which you are working. Staging area and then the repository. Repository is the one. Here repository is a remote repository. That means a repository which you will be making on your GitHub account, which is available to everybody in the world. Here that repository they are talking about. So see, this is the basic workflow of the Git on which you are working on your local system. That is your working directory. Working area is where files that are not handled by the Git, these files are also referred to as an untracked file. That means working directory are the files located in your own system that is not being tracked by the Git. That means you are working on it. That is a working directory. Staging area are the staging area. Just imagine it is as a car. What staging area is doing? It is just a car to take your files from the working directory to your repository. Staging area is like that. It will come to your working directory. You will just you will just keep all your things on your car, that is staging area, and then what car you will do, car will go and it will all commit those changes on your repository. Staging area is just like the car. It will, with the git add command, you will just keep all the things, and then from the git commit you will push all your things, you will commit all your things on your repository. This is what GitHub do. Simple. What staging? So the basic definition of staging area, it is the files that are going to be a part of the next commit, which let's get know what changes in the file are going to occur for the next commit. What commit is? Commit, you know what commit is? Commit is the other snapshots. Snapshot means what? You would have different pics of yourself on your phone. So what happened? You just saw your 1 year old pic. That means what? You can see your 1 year old pic. What git commit do is exactly the same. It just takes a snapshot of your project. You can see with the help of git commit that what you created 1 year ago. Because why? Because git commit has different IDs in it. When you will work on the command line tool, when you will commit the things, you can see different IDs of git commit. So git commit is also known as a snapshots of your project. So how git file, as I told you, untracked files matlab the files which were untracked, which were there on your local computer, which you have not added to the staging area. As soon as you add your untracked files to the staging area, they just get started tracking. And after when they are get staged, what your car will do, it will take your files and it will just go and it will just push that in, commit that into your remote repository. As I told you, git add and git commit are the git commands. You will soon work on these commands. This is how git file work. Okay, commit. What commit is? Commit are the checkpoints or the snapshots of the state of your repository at a particular time. Snapshot is what? Snapshot is like you can revert back to the changes. It happens now sometimes that you by mistake you have added another feature which had a bug, so you wanted your commit to revert back. So with the help of a commit id automatically commit already automatically creates an id of it, like commit number 1, commit number 2. Like you made changes in your project and then you committed it, and then if you find it wrong, you can revert back to it. So this is what commit is. Commit, that means these are the snapshot, these are the records of the changes you made in the file. Okay. Git add. Git add is what? Add is the command which is used to to get your changes tracked, to get your the things which you did tracked. Means from your local system, just putting your things into the car. That is what git add do. Car is what? Staging area. So this is what add. This command add all your files to the git type. It will add all changes that are in the current directory. Okay, so status. So git status is a command. This you will soon get to know about it. As you just type git status, and then what status will do, it will check the status of the file. I mean, what status tells you about what is the status of your project right now. Which files are tracked, which files are not tracked, which are in staging area, which are modified, which are not modified. Git status just tells you the current status of your GitHub project. What you have done till now, what you need to do, that what git status do. Okay. So this is the chart of workflow of the git. These are the commands which you can see: git add, git commit. Okay. So workspace, what workspace is? That is your local system. Staging is your car. It will just take from here to here. Local repository is the see. What is the difference between local repository and the remote repository? This is important. Local repository is the folder that you created on your own system. Okay, and remote repository is the repository, the folder which you created on your GitHub account. Okay, so how to move between local repository to the remote repository? Remote means it is available to all. It is a web. It has just entered into the cloud, into the GitHub. That is remote. So how to go from local repository to the remote repository? We use push command. After when you commit your changes to the local repository using the git commit, you just push your changes to the remote repository. This is the basic workflow of the Git. First, it comes into workspace, then you keep it in your car. The car will take it to the local repository, and using the push command, you go into the remote repository. This is the basic workflow of the Git. And these are the commands. Git add is used to what? To add your folders to the staging area. Git commit is used to commit. Okay. So now let me tell you one more thing: how to git clone. For example, you were just wandering into your GitHub account and you found a very nice project of someone like XYZ has created a project and you just find it very interesting, and you find a bug in it, then what you do, you just thought ki I will just fix this bug and I will just tell that person that yes, you did this bug and I have now corrected it. So what you will do, you will just take the copy of that project, that project into your local system. So what you will use? You will use pull command. That is what pull means. Pull means you will pull that project onto your local system. This is pull. Git pull. This is what pulls do. Okay. So these were all the basic terminologies of the Git. I hope you all understood it well. So now get your GitHub account created. So how your GitHub account can be created? Now let me show you. Let me show you the GitHub account. Just a minute. Okay. So this is my GitHub account. No, I have to show you how to create a GitHub account. Wait, let me tell you. GitHub sign up. Find GitHub. You can just go to this. Oh no, it is just giving. Let me go to the incognito mode. Mm, Okay, so while making your GitHub account, you will just go to this side which I mentioned over here, HTTP. As I have already created my account, that is why when I am entering into this URL, it is just showing my account. You just type this URL and you will see this window, and here enter your username, enter your email address, your password, and then just verify it and then create your account. Hooray, you have created your GitHub account. Just simple steps. Just do this and your GitHub account will be created. Now, as soon as you create your GitHub account, to work on Windows, you have to install Git Bash. See, let me just copy this URL. Just a minute. Let me just copy this URL. Uh-oh. What happened? Okay, my bad. Just copy this URL, go to your Google. Okay, I'm there. Just make a new tab, put this command, and you will see this window. Yeah, this window. After when you put this command, you will see this window. You can, for your Mac OS, you just click this. For Windows, click this. For Linux, click this. For Windows, when you will do this, you will get your git.exe file installed in your system. It will show over here. You can see at the bottom of your window. When you just click on Windows, you will .exe file will get downloaded in your system. Just run that .exe file, and then after running it, you will see different a pop-up window on which just do next. Choose a default value, and as soon as you choose all the default value, Git Bash will be installed on your system. Let me show you mine. It will be after that, when it is installed, it will look something like this. So Git Bash. This is what I'm talking about. Windows, not not for Mac or not for terminal. This is for what Windows user can do. See, this is what your Git Bash is. How your Git Bash terminal will look like. It will look something like this. It is just opening. See, I hope you can see my terminal window. This is what your Git Bash will look like. See, so after when you complete installation of your GitHub, Git Bash, just type this git dash dash version. Type this command, and this will show the command of your Git Bash which you downloaded. And yes, you downloaded it successfully. Now you can work on the GitHub. You can contribute to the word. This is what GitHub is. So tomorrow, Simran ma'am will be telling you how to work on these commands. So just stay tuned. And what is this? Just a minute. Yippee! You have gained enough knowledge to kickstart your journey into the world of open source. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, Simran, if somebody has any questions.
Yeah, ma'am, we have already solved like
Okay.
most probably we have replied them in the
Okay.
live.
Okay.
And
Okay.
even if there would be, we will be covering all those doubts on the day third.
Okay. On the day third. Okay. Yes, we have decided that if we get a major query which you face in your while typing your commands or anything, we all will get that sorted. Simran ma'am or I will get that sorted on the day third of your uh, workshop. So just stay tuned. Thank you everyone for joining us for joining this session. I'm Shriyanshi Srivastava. This is my Twitter account. This is my Insta handle. You can, if you like the session, just give me a shout out or give the shout out to the DSC chapter. We would love to hear it from you. So thank you everybody. So I think we are done. Shall we end or? I hope everybody would have understand